Men do not shape destiny. Destiny produces the man for the hour. The people respect and believe in men who fulfill their duty. The fact is, when men carry the same ideals in their hearts, nothing can isolate them, neither prison walls nor the sod of cemeteries. For a single memory, a single spirit, a single idea, a single conscience, a single dignity will sustain them all. There is plenty of building material and more than enough manpower to make a decent home for every Cuban. But if we continue to wait for the golden calf, 1,000 years will have gone by and the problem will remain the same. Something must be done to save humanity. A better world is possible. There is not communism or Marxism, but representative democracy and social justice in a well-planned economy. I became a communist by studying capitalist political economy. And when I had some understanding of that problem, it actually seemed to me so absurd, so irrational, so inhuman, that I simply began to elaborate on my own formulas for production and distribution. None of us has any personal interest above the interests of the country. Our country is more important than our careers. I am not a communist and neither is the revolutionary movement. I will never retire from politics. The revolution, or the ideas I have. Nature teaches us that tens of billions of light years may have passed, and life in all of its expressions has always been subjected to an incredible combination of matter and radiation. No one even knows 1% of the fabulous history of man, but thanks to history, we know about occurrences that go beyond the limits of the imaginable. It constitutes a superhuman effort to lead any people in times of crisis. Without them, the changes would be impossible. We are political animals. As, not without reason, affirmed Aristotle, who perhaps influenced humanity's thinking more than any other ancient philosopher through his almost 200 treatises, according to reports of which only 31 have been preserved. Our position is that we do not accept conditions of any kind which may affect the independence and sovereignty of our country just with the view to solve economic problems existing between the United States and Cuba. Quality of life lies in knowledge, in culture. Values are what constitute true quality of life, the supreme quality of life. Even above food, shelter, and clothing. The existing world economic order constitutes a system of plundering and exploitation like no other in history. Thus, the peoples believe less and less in statements and promises. I'm not attached to anything. I'm attached to what it feels it's my duty to do my duty. I think that I will die with the boots on. No political event can be judged outside of the era and the circumstances in which it took place. For revolutionary Cubans, to cooperate with other poor and exploited peoples has always been a political principle and a duty towards humanity. A revolution is a struggle to the death between the future and the past. 11 Jinping is one of the strongest and most capable revolutionary leaders I have met in my life. Social struggles have been taking place throughout millennia, since human beings, by resorting to wars, were able to take hold of a surplus production to satisfy the essential needs of life. Every country must be absolutely free to adopt the type of economic, political, and social system that it considers convenient. I have always fought for concrete facts, for justice. Our revolution emerged where it was least expected by the empire, in a hemisphere where it was used to acting like an all-powerful master. I can assure you that my first and foremost interest is my country. Never have we stolen the intelligences of other peoples. On the contrary, in Cuba we have trained tens of thousands of doctors and other top-level professionals for free in order to send them back to their own countries. Peoples do not defy repression and death, nor do they remain for nights on end protesting energetically, just because of merely formal matters. The revenues of Cuban state-run companies are used exclusively for the benefit of the people to whom they belong. As we know, while our species remains alive, everybody has the sacred duty to be optimistic. Ethically, any other behavior wouldn't be admissible. A revolution is not a bed of roses. The revolution is a dictatorship of the exploited against the exploiters. Experience acquired in the heroic battle against Batista's tyranny showed that the enemy, no matter what his strength, could not defeat the Cuban people. The unyielding resistance of the Cuban patriots is symbolized by our 5 heroes. They shall never back down. They shall never surrender. The traditional stand adopted by the Cuban Revolution, which was always opposed to any action that could jeopardize the life of civilians, is well known. We are proud of the history of our country. We learned it in school and have grown up hearing of freedom, justice, and human rights. The equal right of all citizens to health, education, work, food, security, culture, science, and well-being, that is, the same rights we proclaimed when we began our struggle, in addition to those which emerge from our dreams of justice and equality for all inhabitants of our world, is what I wish for all.